Most people dream of being rich, but dreams alone won't build your bank account. Here's the harsh truth. If you don't have the right skills, you will stay exactly where you are, because wealth is not about luck. It's about what you master day after day. Everything starts with your words. If you can't speak with confidence, you can't influence. If you can't write clearly, you can't sell. If you can't communicate your ideas, no one will care. The richest people in the world mastered communication because words are weapons. And when you use them wisely, doors open everywhere. Sales is not about pushing products. It's about solving problems. It's about understanding human emotions, needs, and fears. If you know how to sell, you will never be broke, because sales is the bridge between ideas and money. Learn to sell and you will create income from thin air. The world is noisy. Most people can't focus for 10 minutes, but those who train their minds to focus deeply win, because focus builds expertise. Focus creates mastery. Focus turns hours into gold. If you want to be rich, train your mind to ignore distractions and build relentlessly. Money is not just for spending. It's a tool. If you don't learn how to manage it, it will control you. The rich learn to manage every dollar with discipline. They know where their money goes. They multiply it, protect it, and grow it like a tree. Master financial management and wealth will stay with you forever. Life is a series of problems. Those who complain stay poor. Those who solve problems become rich. Problem solving is the heart of business. It is the reason people pay you. Train your mind to see solutions where others see chaos, because the person who solves the biggest problems earns the biggest rewards. Think about it for a moment. When you see someone driving a car you can't afford, living in a house you only dream of, taking vacations whenever they want, what do you feel? Is it jealousy? Is it admiration? Or is it a quiet sadness, knowing deep down that you want the same freedom but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Almost everyone wants to be rich, but wanting isn't enough. Hoping isn't enough. Working 12 hours a day isn't enough, because wealth doesn't come to those who only work hard. It comes to those who build themselves into the kind of person who attracts wealth. This is the truth that schools never teach. This is the truth most people don't want to hear. They would rather believe that rich people are just lucky, that they inherited it, that they had some secret advantage. But here is the reality. Even if you took away all the money from the richest people in the world, most of them would become rich again. Why? Because they have built skills that no one can take from them. Skills that turn ideas into income, fear into confidence, and dreams into plans. Right now, you might be thinking, I don't have those skills. I don't know where to start. That's okay, because every skill can be learned. Every master was once a beginner. Every powerful communicator once stuttered through their words. Every strong leader once doubted themselves. Every rich person once didn't know how money worked. They just chose to learn. They chose to build. They chose to become someone who could create wealth instead of someone who only wished for it. Imagine what your life would look like if you mastered the skills that create wealth. Imagine waking up every morning, not with dread or stress, but with a fire inside you, knowing that you have built yourself into someone unstoppable, knowing that no matter what happens in the economy, you can rise above it, knowing that you can take care of your family, your future, and your dreams without fear of losing it all. This is why you're here today, because deep down, you're tired of feeling stuck, tired of wondering why others are winning while you're working just as hard. You want to know what it really takes. You want to know the skills that will make you rich. Not for greed, but for freedom. Because money is not just paper in your wallet. It is security. It is opportunity. It is the power to create your life on your own terms. But here is something you need to understand before you learn these skills. Wealth is not about shortcuts. It is not about quick hacks. It is not about finding a secret no one knows. It is about building yourself every single day. It is about becoming disciplined enough to learn what others ignore. It is about mastering skills that make you valuable to the world, because money doesn't come to those who simply want it. It comes to those who are needed, those who create, those who serve, those who solve problems no one else can. And here's why you should stay until the end today. Because these skills will not only make you rich, they will change who you are at your core. They will give you unshakable confidence. They will make you powerful in your words, decisive in your actions, and fearless in your decisions. They will give you the tools to break every limitation you have ever placed on yourself. The truth is, your life can change, your income can change, your confidence can change, but only if you build yourself first. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you wealth on a silver plate. The life you want is waiting for you to create it. And it all begins with the skills you choose to master today. If you truly want to build a life of wealth, you must start with the most powerful skill of all, the skill that turns ideas into opportunities, strangers into allies, and silence into influence. It is the skill of communication. Because nothing in life moves without words. Words are the foundation of connection, the trigger of emotions, and the catalyst of decisions. When you master your words, you master your world. Think about it. Every job interview, every promotion, every business deal, every sale, every relationship, all of it depends on communication. Yet most people never train this skill. They speak without intention. They write without clarity. They communicate without confidence. And then they wonder why no one listens, why no one supports their dreams, why their ideas remain buried inside their minds, never reaching the hearts of others. Imagine this. You walk into a room filled with powerful people, people who can open doors you've been knocking on for years. And instead of feeling small, instead of feeling nervous, you feel strong. You know how to use your words to command respect. You know how to express your ideas in a way that makes people listen. You speak with such clarity that others can see your vision as if it's already real. This is what communication gives you: power, influence, presence. But communication is not just about talking. It is about listening deeply, understanding people's fears, desires, and dreams. When you understand what moves people, your words will always land with impact because you're not just speaking to them. You're speaking for them. You're voicing their unspoken worries, their hidden hopes. And when someone feels understood by you, they will trust you, they will follow you, they will buy from you, support you, stand with you. Because human beings don't buy products or services or ideas. They buy feelings, they buy belief. And only communication can give them that. Many believe communication is about talent, that some people are just born confident. But that is a lie. Confidence in communication is built like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Every great speaker you've ever heard once fumbled their words in front of small rooms. Every powerful leader once felt their throat tighten before sharing an idea. But they kept speaking. They kept learning. They kept refining their voice until it became their greatest weapon. Ask yourself this: what have you lost because you couldn't communicate powerfully? Was it a promotion you deserved? Was it a client who chose someone else? Was it a relationship that faded because you couldn't express your truth? How many more opportunities will slip through your fingers if you don't build this skill? How long will you keep your dreams locked inside your chest, waiting for someone to understand you when you can simply become the person who knows how to express them clearly to the world? When you master communication, you will walk differently. Your energy will change because you will no longer fear misunderstandings. You will no longer stay silent when you want to speak. You will no longer doubt your value in any room you enter. People will feel your presence before you even open your mouth. And when you do speak, they will listen. Because you will speak with intention, with clarity, with confidence that is grounded in truth. Imagine the power of being able to sell any idea with your words, to inspire people to take action just by listening to you. To write a message that moves someone's heart and makes them see your vision. To stand on any stage in front of any person and speak without fear. This is not just a skill for business. It is a skill for life. It will transform your relationships, your opportunities, and your income. Because people don't buy the best products. They buy the products that are communicated best. People don't follow the smartest leaders. They follow the leaders who communicate their vision with clarity and passion. This is the power waiting for you when you choose to build your communication skills. And it starts with one simple choice: to stop speaking without thinking, to stop writing without intention, to start learning how words work, to study how the best communicators use their voice, their tone, their pauses, their stories, to watch them, learn from them, model them until it becomes your natural state. The world is full of noise, but those who communicate with clarity cut through it like a sword. They rise above the chaos. They become leaders. They create movements. They build wealth because they know how to speak in a way that makes people feel, believe, and act. This is your time to build that skill. Because no matter how strong your ideas are, if you can't communicate them, they will remain trapped within you. And the world will never know your greatness. Your journey to wealth begins with building yourself into someone who can influence, inspire, and lead with words that carry power. When you build the power to communicate, another skill rises naturally alongside it. A skill that turns your words into income, your confidence into results, and your understanding of human nature into endless opportunity. That skill is sales. And without it, wealth remains only a dream. Most people hear the word sales and feel resistance. They imagine desperate calls, pushy messages, and fake promises. But that is not what real sales is about. True sales is the art of serving. It is the art of deeply understanding another human being, knowing exactly what they need, and guiding them to the solution that will change their life. If you think about the greatest impact makers in history, they were all salespeople. They sold visions, they sold hope, they sold new ways of living, because sales is not about products, it is about emotion. It is about change. It is about painting a picture so clear that the person in front of you sees their life transformed because of what you offer. Here is the truth about sales. If you know how to sell, you will never be broke. You can lose everything, but if you have sales skills, you can rebuild it all because you know how to create value, how to communicate that value, and how to close with confidence. That is why the wealthiest people in every industry are masters of sales. They don't wait for opportunities to come. They create them by knowing how to ask, how to offer, how to serve. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow with nothing in your bank account, no job waiting, no business running, just you, your mind, and your ability to sell. Would you panic? Or would you feel an unbreakable calm inside you knowing that within a few days you could generate income from thin air? Because you know how to find people with a problem and offer them a solution. This is the power of sales. It makes you fearless. It gives you the confidence to create income anywhere, anytime. Most people live in fear because they have never built this skill. They depend on one job, one boss, one paycheck. They walk through life quietly hoping nothing goes wrong because they have no idea how to create their own money. But those who master sales walk with confidence. They know that income is not about a job, it's about value. If you can sell, you can build a business. If you can sell, you can find investors. If you can sell, you can build teams, because sales is the foundation of every movement, every company, every dream that ever turned real. Sales is not about manipulation. It is about empathy. The person who sells the most is the person who understands the most, the one who listens more than they speak, the one who asks powerful questions, the one who makes the other person feel seen and understood. When people feel understood, they trust you. And when they trust you, they buy from you. Not because you pushed them, but because you guided them with integrity to a decision that improves their life. Think about your own life. Everything you have ever bought was sold to you. Your phone, your clothes, your car, your education, even your beliefs were sold to you by someone. That is how powerful sales is. It shapes your decisions, your actions, your life. Now imagine what your life would look like if you were the one mastering this power. If you knew how to influence decisions ethically. If you knew how to sell your ideas, your skills, your products, your services in a way that feels authentic and strong. You would never fear rejection again. Because rejection in sales is not personal. It is feedback. It is data. It is guidance to refine your approach. Every no brings you closer to a yes when you learn from it. And when you build this mindset, you become unstoppable. Because most people quit after one no, but those who succeed keep showing up, keep learning, keep refining until their offers are irresistible. Imagine having the courage to sell yourself in a job interview, not with desperation, but with confidence that you are the solution they need. Imagine selling your business ideas to investors with such clarity that they feel excited to partner with you. Imagine selling your services to clients who happily pay you what you deserve because they trust your expertise and feel your certainty. This is not just about money. This is about freedom. Because when you can sell, you are no longer dependent on the economy, on your boss, on your industry trends. You become your own economy. You create your own opportunities. You write your own income stories. And that is what builds wealth that lasts a lifetime. If you want to rise above the millions who live in silent frustration, master sales, study it, practice it, live it. Because the person who knows how to sell will always find a way to build, rebuild, and expand. This is the skill that transforms communication into cash flow, confidence into contracts, and purpose into profits. And it will build a life where you never have to fear what tomorrow holds, because you will always hold the power to create your own tomorrow. When you build the skill of sales, something else becomes even more important. Because no matter how well you communicate or how powerfully you sell, none of it matters if you can't focus. Focus is the silent force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the ability to lock your mind onto one goal and move towards it with relentless determination, ignoring everything that tries to pull you away. Look around you. The world is filled with distractions designed to steal your attention, drain your energy, and keep you busy but never productive. Social media notifications, endless news updates, constant messages, shallow entertainment, all of them fighting to keep your mind scattered. And when your mind is scattered, your life becomes scattered. Because what you focus on grows. If your focus is broken, your dreams remain broken. Think about how many days you wake up with big goals in your mind, only to go to bed realizing you didn't take a single real step towards them. You were busy, yes. You replied to messages. You scrolled through posts. You felt tired from all the noise. But were you productive? Did you move the needle forward in your life? Did you build something that will last beyond today? Most people never do. And that is why their lives never change. Because wealth is built by those who can focus deeply, those who train their minds to block out distractions, those who can sit down, work on one skill, one project, one vision for hours without checking their phone every 5 minutes. That is what builds expertise. That is what creates mastery. That is what separates the average from the unstoppable. Imagine what your life would look like if you mastered focus. If you woke up every morning and locked your mind onto your goals with clarity and purpose. Imagine working for 4 hours without distraction, with such deep focus that you achieve what others take days to complete. Imagine finishing every day knowing you move closer to your dreams with disciplined, intentional action. How would your confidence grow if you kept the promises you make to yourself? How would your income grow if your energy wasn't wasted on useless distractions? Focus is a skill, and like any skill, it can be built. It starts with choosing what truly matters to you. It starts with saying no to things that do not align with your goals, because every yes to a distraction is a no to your dreams. Every hour wasted on shallow activities is an hour stolen from your future. You only get this life once. Every day you spend distracted is a day you never get back. The richest people in the world are not always the smartest, but they are the most focused. They don't chase 10 opportunities at once. They choose one and give it everything they have. They build it until it works. They block out the noise and train their minds to stay locked onto what they want. And that is why they win while others remain stuck in cycles of busyness without progress. Focus also builds resilience. When your mind is scattered, every little obstacle feels like a mountain. But when you focus deeply, problems become small and solutions become clear. You don't waste energy worrying about things outside your control. You stay committed to what you can do right now to move forward. And that mental clarity becomes your greatest strength. If you want to build wealth, train your focus like a warrior trains their sword. Remove distractions from your environment. Turn off notifications. Schedule your day with intention. Work in deep, undisturbed blocks of time. Because real work happens when your mind is fully present, fully engaged, fully alive with purpose. Most importantly, focus builds self-respect. When you can control your mind, you start to trust yourself. You know you can depend on your own discipline to do what needs to be done. That self-trust turns into confidence. That confidence turns into power, and that power turns into wealth. Because the world rewards those who show up with consistent, focused action. The ones who don't just talk about goals, but build them piece by piece every single day. Imagine the life that becomes possible when you master focus. Our projects finished with excellence, skills built to the highest level, income streams that grow because of your disciplined effort, a mind that feels calm, clear, and powerful because it is no longer pulled in 100 directions. This is the life you deserve, but it will never come to you if you keep letting distractions steal your future. Choose focus. Build it until it becomes your natural state, until your mind becomes like a laser that cuts through every obstacle in its way. Because when you focus deeply, you become unstoppable. And there is no greater power than a human being who knows exactly what they want and has the discipline to stay locked onto it until it is real. Focus gives you the power to build. But there is a skill that multiplies everything you build. It is the skill of financial literacy. Because no matter how much money you make, if you do not know how to manage it, grow it, and protect it, wealth will slip through your fingers like water. Financial literacy is not taught in school. Most people grow up learning how to work for money, but never how to make money work for them. They spend years studying subjects they never use, but remain blind to the rules of money that control their lives. And that is why so many people work hard their entire lives and still remain broke. Because income is not the same as wealth. Wealth is built by those who understand money, not just earn it. Imagine this. You spend your life working 80 hours a week, sacrificing your health, your time, your dreams just to pay bills. And then one day you realize you have nothing left. No investments, no savings, no assets, just memories of working hard and living in fear. This is the reality for millions of people who never learned financial literacy. But your life does not have to be this way. Financial literacy is the skill that frees you from fear. It teaches you how to use money as a tool, not a master. It shows you how to protect what you earn, how to multiply it, and how to build a life where money works for you even while you sleep. This is the foundation of real wealth. Because wealth is not built by trading time for money forever. It is built by creating assets that generate income with or without your presence. Think about your current life. How much do you really know about money? Do you understand how taxes work? Do you know how to read a profit and loss statement? Do you know how to invest in assets that grow over time? Do you know how to protect your income with insurance? Do you know how to budget effectively, save strategically, and spend wisely? These are not just questions. These are the keys to your financial freedom. Most people feel stressed about money because they feel powerless. They don't understand how it works, so it controls them. Bills become heavy chains. Debt becomes an endless prison. But when you build financial literacy, you remove that fear forever because you begin to see money for what it really is, a tool to build the life you want, not something to worship or fear. Imagine having multiple streams of income flowing into your life. Your job income, your business profits, your investments, your assets, all working together to build your wealth. Imagine never feeling anxious when an unexpected bill arrives because you have an emergency fund ready. Imagine being able to say yes to experiences, opportunities, and contributions that matter to you because you have built financial security and abundance. This is what financial literacy gives you. It gives you choices. And choices are the true definition of wealth. Because without money, your choices become limited. You may want to travel, but you can't. You may want to help your family, but you can't. You may want to start your business, but you can't. Because you are trapped by your lack of understanding. But with financial literacy, doors open. Options appear. Life becomes filled with possibilities instead of limitations. Building financial literacy starts with humility, accepting that you do not know what you were never taught, choosing to study money as seriously as you study your job, learning about budgeting, debt management, investing, taxes, and wealth protection, reading books, listening to financial experts, observing how the wealthy think about money differently. Because the poor work for money, the middle class save money, but the wealthy invest money to create more money. That is the difference knowledge makes. When you master financial literacy, you begin to make decisions from strength, not desperation. You don't buy things to impress others. You buy things that add value to your life. You don't spend recklessly today and regret tomorrow. You plan strategically so your future self will thank you. You build systems that grow your money automatically so your wealth is not dependent on your energy alone. Imagine how powerful your life will feel when you know exactly how to create, manage, and multiply your income. When you can look at your finances and feel peace instead of anxiety. When you know you are building generational wealth that will protect your family long after you are gone. This is what true success feels like. Freedom, security, and the power to live life on your terms. Financial literacy is not an option if you want to be rich. It is a non-negotiable. Because wealth is not just about how much you earn. It is about how you keep it, how you grow it, and how you use it to build a life of purpose and impact. Choose today to build this skill with the same focus and discipline you use to build every other part of your life. Because when you combine financial literacy with focus, sales, and communication, you become unstoppable. You become someone who doesn't just survive in this world, but thrives with strength, wisdom, and limitless possibility. Financial literacy gives you the power to grow and protect your wealth, but there is a skill that determines how far and how fast you will rise. That skill is discipline. Without discipline, knowledge is wasted, focus is scattered, and wealth becomes temporary. Discipline is the silent force behind every successful person you admire. It is the reason some people wake up early, work relentlessly, and keep pushing forward while others give in to comfort and excuses. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the feeling you set it in has left. It is showing up when no one is watching. It is choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and long-term rewards over instant gratification. This is what builds unshakable confidence. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust within. You prove to your mind that you are someone who does what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. Most people know what they need to do to change their lives, but they never do it. Not because they lack intelligence or talent, but because they lack discipline. They wake up with plans to work out, to study, to build their dreams, but by evening, they have given in to laziness and distractions. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and their lives remain exactly the same. Because without discipline, dreams remain dreams. Imagine the life you could build if discipline became your greatest strength. Imagine waking up each morning with clarity, following through on your priorities without excuses. Imagine your body transforming because you stuck to your workouts. Imagine your business growing because you stayed consistent with your actions. Imagine your mind sharpening because you disciplined yourself to learn every single day. That is how powerful discipline is. It touches every area of your life, shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you choose to do what is right over what is easy, you build that muscle. Every time you choose to keep working when you feel tired, you build that muscle. Every time you say no to distractions and yes to your goals, you build that muscle. And one day, discipline becomes your natural way of living. You become someone who does not negotiate with excuses. The richest people in the world have extreme discipline. They follow routines that optimize their energy and productivity. They manage their time like a precious resource. They say no to things that waste their focus. They make sacrifices that others are not willing to make. And that is why they live lives others can only dream of. Because discipline builds habits, and habits build success. Discipline also builds mental toughness. When you are disciplined, you stop depending on motivation. You stop waiting to feel ready. You stop letting your emotions control your actions. You act because it is who you are, not because you feel like it today. That mental toughness is what carries you through obstacles, failures, and rejections. Because no matter how many times life knocks you down, discipline will make you get back up, stronger each time. Imagine never feeling guilty again about broken promises to yourself. Imagine looking in the mirror and feeling proud of the person you see because you know you are living with integrity. Imagine having control over your habits, your time, and your energy. This is what discipline gives you. It gives you freedom, because while the world thinks discipline is restrictive, in reality, it is the path to ultimate freedom. When you are disciplined, you control your life. When you are undisciplined, your impulses and emotions control you. Building discipline starts with small choices. Wake up when your alarm rings, not 5 minutes later. Finish what you start, no matter how small. Keep your environment clean and organized. Eat foods that fuel your body, not just please your tongue. Train yourself to do the hard things first, not last. These small acts of discipline compound into massive strength over time. And soon you will find yourself doing things others find impossible because you have trained your mind to act with power and certainty. Ask yourself today, how disciplined am I? Do my actions reflect the life I say I want? Do my habits align with my goals? Because if they do not, your dreams will remain locked away, trapped behind excuses and laziness. But if you build discipline, nothing can stop you. You will rise above your circumstances. You will create results that others call impossible. You will build wealth, health, and a life that reflects your highest potential. Choose discipline today. Train it every single moment. Because when discipline becomes your foundation, success becomes inevitable. You will not need to chase motivation. You will not need to wait for perfect conditions. You will become the kind of person who gets things done no matter what. And that is the person who builds wealth that lasts a lifetime. Discipline creates the structure upon which wealth is built, but there is one final skill that elevates everything you do to a level most people never reach. It is the skill of resilience. Because no matter how focused, knowledgeable, or disciplined you are, life will test you. Plans will fail. Markets will crash. People will disappoint you. Your body will tire. Your mind will doubt. And in those moments, only resilience will keep you moving forward. Resilience is the inner force that keeps you standing tall when life tries to break you. It is the refusal to surrender to circumstances. It is a choice to rise again every time you fall, no matter how deep the pain or how heavy the burden. Most people give up, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack resilience. They face one failure and decide that it is proof they will never succeed. They hear one rejection and believe they are unworthy. They experience one setback and lose all hope. But those who build resilience become unbreakable. Because resilience is not just about surviving challenges. It is about using them as fuel to grow stronger. It is the mindset that sees problems as opportunities to become better. It is the heart that refuses to let fear or pain define its limits. Imagine living with that level of power where nothing outside of you can defeat what is within you. Think about the greatest people in history, the entrepreneurs who built empires, the leaders who transformed nations, the artists who created timeless works. None of them had an easy path. Their journeys were filled with failures, betrayals, losses, and moments where giving up seemed easier than continuing, but they kept going. Because resilience is what transforms failure into wisdom, rejection into redirection, pain into power. Imagine your own life. How many times have you given up too soon? How many dreams did you bury because the first attempt failed? Or how many skills did you abandon because you were not instantly good at them? How many opportunities did you walk away from because the journey became uncomfortable? If you are honest with yourself, you will realize it was never your lack of ability that held you back. It was your lack of resilience. The unwillingness to endure the discomfort that growth demands. Building resilience starts with how you interpret challenges. Most people see challenges as threats, as punishments, as signs that they are not meant to succeed. But the resilience see challenges as teachers. They ask, what is this moment trying to teach me? What strength can I build here? What wisdom can I gain? This mindset turns every obstacle into an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. Resilience is also built by embracing discomfort. When you voluntarily put yourself in situations that test your mind and body, you build a quiet confidence that nothing can shake you. Cold showers, hard workouts, disciplined routines, rejection practice, these are not just habits, they are weapons that build resilience. Because when you train your mind to endure discomfort willingly, you develop an unbreakable spirit that thrives under pressure. Most importantly, resilience is built by purpose. When you have a purpose bigger than your pain, you will never give up. When your vision is greater than your struggles, you will keep moving forward no matter how heavy the burdens feel. Ask yourself today, what is my purpose? Why must I succeed? Who will suffer if I give up on my dreams? Because when your purpose becomes clear, your resilience becomes unstoppable. You will endure any pain, overcome any failure, and rise after any defeat because your life is no longer about comfort. It is about your mission. Imagine waking up every day knowing that no matter what challenges come your way, you have the resilience to overcome them. Imagine facing failures with calm strength, knowing they are stepping stones to success. Imagine building your wealth, your health, and your dreams without fear, because you know nothing can break the spirit you have built within. That is true power. That is the mindset of the wealthy and successful. Resilience turns ordinary people into legends. It is the reason some rise while others remain on their knees. It is the difference between temporary success and lasting greatness. Because life will always test you before it rewards you. And those who pass the test are not the smartest or strongest. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who use every struggle to rise higher. Choose today to build resilience as your greatest weapon. Welcome challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. See failures as proof you are trying. Train your mind to endure discomfort willingly. Anchor your life to a purpose bigger than yourself. Because when resilience becomes your foundation, there is no force on earth that can stop you from building the life you deserve. You will rise again and again until one day you look back and realize that every setback was preparing you for the greatness you were destined to create. Resilience transforms failures into stepping stones, but there is one truth that binds all skills together. Action is what makes everything real. Without action, focus is just a dream. Sales is just an idea. Communication is just empty words. Financial literacy is just knowledge sitting unused. Discipline is just potential wasted. Resilience is just an untested virtue. Action is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. You can spend years learning about wealth, watching motivational videos, reading books, and planning your future. But if you never act, you will remain exactly where you are. Action is what creates results. It is what turns knowledge into income, dreams into reality, plans into achievements. Yet most people live their entire lives trapped in analysis, fear, and overthinking. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect conditions. That moment never comes because life rewards those who act despite uncertainty. Imagine this truth clearly. The wealthiest people in the world are not always the smartest. They are not always the most talented, but they are the ones who act. They take risks. They make decisions. They step forward even when fear screams at them to stay safe. They fail, they learn, and they try again. Every action, no matter how small, compounds over time to create unstoppable momentum. That is how wealth is built, not in giant leaps, but in consistent, courageous action every single day. Most people are trapped by fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong choice. But what they do not realize is that inaction is the biggest failure of all, because at least when you act and fail, you gain wisdom. You gain experience, you grow stronger. But when you remain frozen in fear, you gain nothing except regret. You wake up years later wondering where your life went, realizing you never even tried. Action requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward in spite of it. It is telling yourself, yes, I am scared, but I will do it anyway. Yes, I might fail, but I will try anyway. Yes, people might laugh at me, but their opinions do not build my dreams. This is what separates the successful from the average. They feel fear like everyone else, but they refuse to let it control their destiny. Think about your own life right now. What have you been delaying? What dream have you buried under excuses? What skill have you been meaning to learn but never started? What business idea have you been planning for years but never launched? Ask yourself with honesty, if I do not act now, when will I? Because every day you delay is a day you cannot get back. Time is the one resource you can never recover. Money lost can be earned again. Opportunities missed can be replaced with new ones. But time wasted is gone forever. Action does not require perfection. You do not need all the answers to begin. You do not need to be the best to start. You just need to start. The path will become clear as you walk it. The skills will develop as you practice. The confidence will grow as you take each step. This is how every master became who they are, by being willing to be a beginner first. Imagine how your life will transform if you make action your default habit. Imagine waking up each morning with a bias for action. You plan quickly, decide decisively, and execute relentlessly. You build momentum so powerful that obstacles feel like small bumps on your journey rather than giant walls. This is the mindset of every great entrepreneur, leader, and creator. They act fast, learn fast, and adjust fast because they know results only come to those who move. Action also creates clarity. When you sit and think, your mind creates problems that don't even exist. But when you act, reality gives you feedback. You see what works and what does not. You discover new ways forward. You build confidence not from theory, but from lived experience. And that confidence becomes a force within you, pushing you to take even bigger actions with certainty and courage. Imagine looking back 1 year from today, seeing everything you have built because you chose action over excuses. Your income has grown. Your skills have multiplied. Your discipline has become unbreakable. Your mindset has transformed into unstoppable confidence, all because you decided that no matter how you felt, you would act every single day. That is how extraordinary lives are built. Choose action today. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for fear to disappear. Fear will always be there, but so will your dreams. Let your dreams be stronger than your fear. Take the first step, then the next. And keep moving until one day you realize you have become the person you always dreamed of being. Because action, more than anything else, is what makes you rich in wealth, in confidence, in experiences, and in life itself. Action is what makes your dreams breathe life. But there is a force even deeper that determines whether your actions will last. That force is belief. Because everything you do, everything you achieve, and everything you become begins in your mind. If you believe you are destined to fail, no amount of effort will create success. If you believe you are unworthy of wealth, you will sabotage your progress every time it arrives. Your beliefs set the limits of your life, and until you change them, your reality remains trapped within them. Most people live with beliefs they did not choose. Beliefs passed down from parents who struggled. Beliefs shaped by teachers who doubted them. Beliefs formed by failures they never recovered from. Or they tell themselves, I am not good enough. I am not smart enough. I am not meant to be wealthy. And because they believe these lies, their actions are half-hearted, their confidence is weak, and their results reflect their inner doubts. But those who achieve greatness know one truth that others ignore. Belief is a choice. It is not something you are born with. It is something you build moment by moment, decision by decision, action by action. When you choose to believe in yourself despite your doubts, you create a new reality. When you choose to believe that wealth is within your reach, your mind begins to find opportunities others cannot see. When you choose to believe you are worthy, your actions carry a power that others cannot understand. Imagine waking up every day with unshakable belief in yourself. Imagine knowing with absolute certainty that everything you desire is already yours if you choose to claim it. Imagine acting with the confidence of someone who knows they cannot be defeated. That belief would change the way you speak, the way you walk, the way you work, and the way you show up in every area of your life. That belief would make you unstoppable. Belief is built by feeding your mind thoughts that empower you rather than weaken you. Most people fill their minds with doubts, complaints, fears, and negativity. They spend hours listening to the voices of others who have given up on their dreams. They surround themselves with people who live in limitations and scarcity. Then they wonder why they feel stuck and powerless. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant will grow. If you plant weeds of doubt, fear, and self-hate, your life will reflect it. But if you plant seeds of power, courage, belief, and abundance, your life will transform to match. Every time you tell yourself, I can't do this, replace it with, I will find a way. Every time